Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today I shall tell you a story of how I lost my phone to the ocean. And now, not this phone I'm recording on, but another phone that's in my pocket, but I'll show it to you a little bit later. This story is about me losing my phone to the ocean, exactly how it happened, why it happened, and how the ocean gave it back to me several days later. This story begins about 2-3 weeks before I actually lost my phone. My daughter, she asked me if her summer semester was coming to an end in college, and she asked me if I could take 3 days off consecutively, so we could just spend father-daughter family time, me and my wife, all of us together, and I wouldn't worry about work. And I said, I don't know, but I'll do my best. And a little subtext to that, I work way too much. So I have 2 jobs. Well, technically I have several jobs, but I'm the only breadwinner in the family, so I have to work twice as hard. I usually don't have any days off, and the most time I spend with my family is maybe about 1 hour a day. And it just so happens that my schedule is, I get up 6 o'clock every morning. I leave the house by 7, and I Uber from 7 till 9. And then from 9 till 5 I work my regular job, and then again I Uber from 5 till 9 till 10 till 11 o'clock at night. In other words, for me to actually take a day off is a challenge, but I did promise my daughter that I'd take my day off, and I tried with my company and they said, yeah, we'll give you 3 days off in a row, no problem. So it was going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Today is actually Thursday. It's my last day off. Still haven't worked as I promised, but a little subtext to that is my wife and daughter are both witches. So usually if they really desire something, it happens. Sometimes it doesn't happen on the best of circumstances, but it does happen. So Tuesday was my first day off, and we planned to go to the beach. We live in Florida, so it's usually sunny, and we got up early. We were at the beach at 8:30 in the morning. We usually try to go before 11 when the sun is really hot. This way we don't have to use SPF, and usually you don't get burned between before 11 o'clock in the morning, and if you go to the beach after 3. Couldn't go to the beach after 3 because we had other plans. So we went to the beach, and I brought all my toys with me. So I brought my boards, I brought my pedal board, we brought the beach chairs. Just decided to make a day of it the best we can. And as soon as the pedal board was in the water, by the way, I recorded, I'll try to add the video here on the side. I did record a video right before I lost my phone on my pedal board. And it was technically I think my 3rd time going pedal boarding. I just bought a pedal board, inflatable one from Amazon. Honestly, probably the best $200 I ever spent. And we started taking turns. My wife went out on the pedal board, she stood up immediately. I mean, she had probably no problem standing up, but because probably my wife is a little short, so her center of gravity is a little low, so yeah, her balance is a little better than mine. My daughter couldn't stand up, I couldn't stand up, and then as we were pedal boarding, I decided to take my phone with me, and my phone was in a rubber case, non-slippery case, so I put it on the non-slippery part of the board, and we swam with the phone on the board, no problem, for a good part of the hour. Then I decided to go pedalboarding alone, and that's when it happened. I've recorded a few videos. I posted them as my shorts a few hours ago because I got my phone back. But I did record a few videos, and then I got a little gutsy, and I remember thinking, with my phone laying on the board, I remember thinking, if I lose this phone in 6 feet of water, I can probably find it, but it's gonna suck if it gets water damage. Yeah, I was not in 6 feet of water when I lost it. So I pedaled a little further out, a little gutsy, and I decided to stand up on my board. And I did stand up on my board, but it didn't last long. I took a tumble, and I didn't have the tie on to my board on my leg. So when I resurfaced, my board was like 10 feet away from me. So I had to swim and get my board. Then I had to go swim the other way and get the pedal. And by the time I got my board and my pedal, I lost my bearing and I had no clue. And only then I noticed that the phone was no longer on the board, because my hope was that when I fell, the board, it didn't flip, it didn't fall in any way, it just was basically swept from under me and then just like got pushed away and the phone stayed on the board. But when I looked on the board, the phone was no longer there. That was problem number one. Problem number two, I was in about 12 to 15 foot deep waters. So finding my phone was not going to be easy. My phone is Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra, so it's completely black. And on a white sandy bottom, I thought it was like stand up as a sore thumb. So I looked for it, but I didn't have my diving equipment with me. I didn't have my goggles or anything. And I didn't even take my snorkeling gear with me. So I didn't see anything dark or black on the bottom. So I kind of remember the location I was at. I pedaled back to our setup on the beach. And I came up to my wife and my daughter and I was like, I just lost my phone. And I remember their reaction perfectly, because they were shocked that I wasn't like freaking out. I wasn't pissed off. I wasn't angry. I wasn't yelling. I mean, it's a $1,200 phone. I was just like, yeah, I lost my phone. Let's go see if we can find it. So we got onto the pedal board. We swam out. I was actually pretty far off. I was about between like 150 and maybe, actually probably like 100 to 150 feet off offshore in deeper waters. So we swam out there. I grabbed my mask. I tried to find it with my mask, but I didn't even have my snorkel gear with me. So did that for about half an hour. Didn't see anything, didn't find anything. So I said, if it's lost, it's lost. No big deal. My wife and my daughter still shocked that I'm not freaking out over my phone. I'm like, hey, I actually told them, I'm like, you wanted to have 3 days off? I was gonna do some Ubering tonight, but without my phone, I guess now I'm not doing anything tonight or tomorrow night or until I get a new phone. I did have this phone, which is iPhone 11 Pro, which I could substitute, but I still needed the replacement SIM card with the same phone number, which I probably would take a couple days to get. And so we decided to make the best of it. We swam around for up until 11 o'clock, until it got too hot to stay at the beach. Didn't find my phone. Had a great time swimming around. And I'm like, yeah, let's just go home. Let's hang out. Let's do our stuff. Then we'll come back tomorrow morning bright and early. I'll bring my snorkel gear. We'll see if we can find it. So next morning, which was actually yesterday, we came back to the beach about the same time, about 8:30 in the morning, closer to 9. This time I brought my snorkel gear. I swam around in that area for about an hour. Didn't see anything, didn't find anything. My daughter was swimming around with me on the paddleboard the whole time. She actually likes the paddleboard a lot more than I do. She doesn't want to get off it. So yeah, best $200 I ever spent on Amazon. Then we sort of, I told her, I'm like, I'm tired. How about I climb onto the board? I'll stick my head into the water and you just pedal me around in circles. Maybe we'll find it. I had very little hope because, I mean, ocean is ocean. the waves are always present and the phone can get buried in sand, it can get pulled back into the ocean or thrown out on the beach. It's definitely not going to stay in the same location for, at that time it was 24 hours. And yeah, I had very little hope of finding it, but hey, I was spending the entire time with my family, with my daughter, with my wife. Nobody ever called me. I didn't get a single text message. It was awesome. So we were just like, it gave us a purpose and a way of like spending time together. Swam around on the board probably for another half an hour. And then my daughter, she's like, I'm tired, I'm gonna go lay out in the sun. I'm like, okay. So I decided to stay on the pedal board, but not look for the phone, just have fun on the pedal board. And I saw some people on the pedal board like off to my side. I swam over to them. They're like, oh dude, there are dolphins over there. So I turned around, I saw dolphins. They were maybe about 50 yards away from us. I'm like, you know, I'm gonna get closer. So I got closer to the dolphins, and there was like 3 of them, and I was right in between. I had 2 on my left side, 2 on my right side. They were surfacing maybe about within 10 feet of the board. And I'm like, you know, that's awesome. And I was trying not to bother them in any way. And then I decided to swim after them because it was cool to see them surface and resurface and resurface. And I got probably about half a mile away from shore. And then I turned around and I saw another school of dolphins right behind me. And I was like, holy crap, that's awesome. That was like probably half a dozen to a dozen of them. So I just stayed where I was at because they were approaching me, and seeing all of these dolphins like get really close to me and then swim under me, seeing them in the crystal clear waters of the Emerald Coast under me and then resurface on the other side of me. I mean, they were so close I could literally like reach out and probably touch them. I didn't want to. I didn't want to bother them in any way. I was like trying not to make my presence known. Of course, when they resurfaced, they saw me. I saw this mama dolphin right next to like her baby dolphin right next to her. Best time ever. Went out back on the shore, and it was getting close to for us to leave, so we left. Had the rest of the day, and by that time I'm like, man, I gotta start thinking about getting another phone because I gotta go back to work on Friday, which is tomorrow. And I'm like, I can't do my job without a phone because even my day job is dependent on me having a phone. I have my iPhone 11 Pro, but I still gotta get the SIM card. So I called T-Mobile. They're like, oh, you can go get a SIM card at any of our stores. They'll reprogram it with your number. I'm like, that's freaking awesome. I don't even have to wait for it in the mail. As soon as I heard that I don't need to, that I can get my SIM card the same day and have it activated the same day, I'm like, you know, I don't even have to get my, it was Wednesday. I'm like, I don't even have to get my SIM card today. I can spend another day without a phone. I'll be fine. And I remember I had to go somewhere. Don't remember where I had to go, but I had to go somewhere. And I decided to go on Google, because I've been doing it for the last 24 hours in case somebody found my phone, in case my phone got like thrown out onto the beach. Because guess what? Phone underwater does not get GPS signal. It does not get any signal at all, because as soon as my phone was left turned on, and as soon as I lost it, I tried calling it, went straight to voicemail. So for like, I was periodically checking the Find My Phone feature on Google because I use Android, and my phone showed the last known location like 4 hours ago when I lost it, then 12 hours ago, then like 24 hours ago, 1 day ago. And before I left my house that day, I'm like, you know, I'm gonna check Find My Phone again, just for shits and giggles. I click it, and it shows my phone location at that beach. I'm like, either it got thrown out on the beach or somebody found it. I took my daughter's phone, I dialed myself. A girl picks up the line. I'm like, you found my phone, didn't you? And she's like, she was more excited than me. She's like, yes, we found your phone. I'm like, are you still at the beach? She's like, yes. I'm like, stay right there. I'll be there in about 20 minutes. So I get in my car, I start driving. And because I Uber, I had a lot of people leave a lot of stuff in my car, and it's just customary to sort of leave a tip, like a finder's fee, every time I return something. I had a few times when nobody would give me anything for taking my time to return their things, which sort of like pissed me off. So on my way to the beach, I didn't have any cash on me, so I stopped by ATM. I took some money out just in case, and I came out to the beach, and I'm coming out onto the beach, dial my phone again. A guy picks up. I'm like, "You got my phone? I'm here. I'm just now entering the beach. I'm in bright yellow shirt. Wave me down." And he was like right in front of me, like right where we set up our beach stuff. And I come out to him. I'm like, "Honestly, where did you find my phone?" And the guy, he ran up to me. He's like, "Dude, I swam out. Like my first time, I swam out and I saw it immediately, and I dove down for it." I'm like, "How far away from shore was it?" He's like, "It had to be at least 100 feet away from the shore." I'm like, "Yep, I lost it between like 100 and 150 feet from the shore." He's like, "Yep." So I, together with my daughter and my wife, were searching for my phone for 2 whole beach days. I mean, you can see my tan because I was practically white before this. And we didn't find it, but we had great time at the beach. And here's some random person, not searching for it, swam out and immediately found my phone, dove down for it, because he did tell me it was pretty deep. He had to dive down for it. And I'm like, "What do I owe you?" I'm like, "I gotta give you something." He's like, no, he's like, "I'm just happy the phone is getting back to its rightful owner." I'm like, "You want to hear something really freaky?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "If you would have found this phone tomorrow, there's no way I would have known, and no way I would be able to call it, because I would have a new SIM card with the same phone number." He's like, "Man, then it's definitely meant to be." And I saw that they were having a party on the beach. I mean, they were between like probably 21 to 30, 21, yeah, like early 20s to their 30s. There were probably over a dozen of these kids, college kids. I'm like, "How about I buy you some beer for being so cool, for finding my phone?" And he's like, no, dude, I really don't need anything." And I'm like, "Here's $60. Do whatever you want with it. Just have a good time, because you deserve it." He was happy. He was like really happy that I just gave him anything. So I got my phone. It was still turned on. It spent at that point, it was 36 hours at the depth of between 12 and 15 feet in salt ocean water, and still worked. It was a little glitchy, so I immediately turned it off. And a lot of tech guys, a lot of repair service guys right now will be cringing and probably slapping their face. But as soon as I got home, I buried my phone in rice. I heard it works. I know people will be cringing and be like, "It's not about moisture, it's about corrosion." Yes, I know. But my phone, even though it was in a protective case, it spent a day and a half at the bottom of the ocean. It got damaged. It had a cracked rear panel. Now, if I take it to the service place, the rear panel will have to completely be replaced. Cleaning, I don't know how much people charge for cleaning right now from water damage. My phone worked before I turned it off. It works right now. The only thing I have is this little moisture has been moisture detected in USB port warning, so I can't charge it traditionally. I have to charge it with a wireless charger. But my phone works. All the apps work so far. The only thing I have to figure out how to do is how to transfer all the pictures, all the videos from this phone without the USB cable and without uploading to a cloud. So I'll have to think about that for the next couple days. But again, me losing my phone did not really stress me out. I knew within a day I could transfer all the necessary information onto a new phone, onto this iPhone 11 Pro I have as a backup. I mean, yeah, I would have to transfer my Uber driver app, my Lyft driver app, 3 apps I use with work. I would have to transfer all my banking information. It's a hassle, but it's a worthy hassle considering that the last 3 days without any work at all, that's the longest 72 hours. Actually, that's the longest I've gone without working, probably in the last year, and spend the entire time with my family. It was a great time. Love every minute of it. It's not over yet because I still have tonight, but my phone works, the apps work, everything is basically the way it was before these 3 days. I had the best time of my life. It cost me only $60. I even got to take my wife and daughter to the restaurant they wanted to go to for weeks because, again, didn't have my phone with me, did not have the ability to work like Uber and Lyft like I like to do in the evenings. So we had probably the best 3 days in months, and all because my wife and daughter are witches because they really wanted this. It was something they desired, and it happened. I told them, I'm like, hey, you really got a desire for us to win the lottery. Then, but my daughter, she's not materialistic. She doesn't desire money. My wife, she only desires for me to be successful so I can provide for the family. I'm the one who desires the money, the lottery, and everything else. But apparently I'm not strong enough to win by myself yet. So I told them, I'm like, the day the 3 of us desire to win the lottery, it will happen. So subscribe to my channel and maybe you'll bear witness to that. But for now, thank you guys for watching. This is the story of how I lost my phone to the ocean, and the ocean gave it back a couple days later. Oh, here's another thing. I didn't mention it in the story, but it is important. I am very spiritual, not religious, but spiritual. So meaning I understand the spirits around us. I can talk to the spirits around us. I've proven to everybody in my close circle without any doubt that different spirits exist. And while we were searching for the phone, I addressed the water spirits. My daughter was addressing the ocean spirits, but I addressed the water spirits. And I said, you know, you had my phone, you played with it, now give it back. And I got it back a couple hours later. I didn't find it, somebody else did, but I got it back. So that's something to consider. But thank you guys for watching. I know this video will be kind of long, but I'd like to hear your input. Leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. See you guys later.